It is, Meredith, and some big snowflakes early this morning. So this actually did have a decent amount of snow, some sleet initially with this event. And once that happened, the Weather Service in Columbia, they upgraded us into a winter storm warning in McDuffie, Columbia, Richmond, Aiken County. So that'll be in effect until early Saturday morning. The reason they did upgrade is that we were anticipating a slightly higher snow and sleet total. So potentially up to 2 to 3 inches in those counties highlighted in pink, including us here around Augusta, Aiken, and Evans. Now, if you're further south, you're still underneath the winter weather advisory through early tomorrow morning for just slightly less of those totals, slightly less sleet and slightly less freezing rain. But we are noticing glazed over surfaces across most of the central and northern CSRA underneath those winter alerts. A current view over SRP Park. I don't know if SRP Park has ever looked like this. This is looking like quite the scene out there. Dangerous roadways. We are still at freezing here in Augusta, 32 degrees right now. These have been going up just a degree or two every 4 or 5 hours. So we're hoping that trend will continue into this afternoon. A lot of models are showing that, but I want you to treat it like temps will stay below freezing the rest of today into tonight. Here's a look at our radar setup. So cold front is sweeping this low pressure system ahead of it. That's what's going to be moving through the region tonight. You can still see a decent batch of moisture still yet to come for the CSRA. So that's why we are anticipating more additional ice accumulation, some sleet accumulation. Maybe you get a couple snowflakes mixed in. But at the moment, you can see there's a little dry slot right here. So we're actually getting a break from a good bit of this moisture here around Augusta, Evans, and Aiken. A little bit steadier rain, freezing rain up towards the lake. And further south, those temperatures are above freezing, but you may be seeing a mixture fall from the sky. Now, once that main front shows up later tonight, may pick up our winds, maybe 10, 15 miles an hour. So once again, not ruling out some utility disruptions. We haven't seen a ton of that yet today, but that could happen later into this evening and tonight. Here's our current temps. Right now, still at 32 in Augusta. Same thing in Evans, Thompson, anywhere north of I-20. So this is where that freezing air currently is holding. But you can see anywhere south of us, those temperatures are above freezing into the mid-30s. So as this main area of low pressure shows up from the southwest, it should be trying to draw in that slightly warmer air to this cold air mass. So we're hoping we can get above freezing later into today. A lot of model guidance is showing that. But here around the metro, we are still at freezing. So expect those very dangerous travel impacts to continue. We haven't seen much wind just yet. The wind's not really expected to pick up until we get to much later this evening, early tonight. That's when that main cold front will be pushing through. But at the moment, wind is fairly calm at most of our sensors that we're looking at here around the region. All right, let's take a look at our in-house model here. So temperatures, once again, near that freezing mark. We'll continue to see this precipitation move in from the west. By the time we get to around 4 or 5 o'clock, I think our radar is looking much more active again in the way of this freezing rain, sleet falling from the sky. And then take a look at these temperatures. By the time we get to 8, 9 p.m., you can see most of us are now starting to get maybe up to 33, 34 degrees, and that trend should continue as we head into later tonight. So hopefully once we get above freezing later this evening, as long as we can get that change in wind direction, that should help alleviate a lot of problems we're seeing out there right now. Throughout the day Saturday, it's going to be chilly, but above freezing. We're going to wake up with cloud cover temps in the 30s, but throughout the day, we will see that sun by the afternoon and at least warm us up into the mid and upper 40s. So well above freezing. Shouldn't see those conditions last too much past sunrise tomorrow morning. Now, we've already seen up to 1/10 of an inch in some places. As far as freezing rain goes, we could see an additional 1/10 to maybe up to 1/1500ths of an inch. So remember, we are not done with this system just yet. More ice is likely going to be accumulating as we head into this afternoon and evening. Stay off the roadways if you can help it. I know you may have to. If you absolutely have to be on the roads for the rest of today and tonight, just make sure you're putting as much distance possible between you and those vehicles around you. If for some reason you do start to lose control, start to slide, remember, you don't want to slam on brakes, and you don't necessarily want to pump the brakes either. Remember, with our automatic braking systems in most vehicles now, you definitely don't want to pump them because that can lock it up. So it's just a slow, steady pressure like a balloon is underneath that brake pedal. Never use cruise control. You don't even want to use cruise control if it's raining outside. So same thing for our southern counties. Make sure if you're heading out that you are not using that cruise control. Where we've seen a lot of accidents so far today has been on bridges and overpasses. Those are the places that are going to be freezing first and that are already frozen, even in some spots that were treated by Georgia DOT. We've even seen some slick spots. So the reason is heat's able to radiate all the way outside of this bridge. So it's not insulated by the ground and able to lose that heat very efficiently. Even our road temps, though, even though they are insulated, a lot of freezing spots around town. So it's leading to scenes like this. This was actually an accident on I-20 westbound just outside of our studios. You can see this ice accumulation on that magnolia tree. This was a scene from Thompson early this morning by Miss Kathy Buffington. Thanks for sending all these pictures and videos. This was in Barnwell, South Carolina. A good blanket of snow right there. This is in Graniteville, I believe, so another beautiful scene. And then this is the Thigpen Snow Women of their family, so they sent us that, a good one there. But how about this? This is actually from our Georgia DOT camera in Thompson. This is White Oak Road and Harrison Road. This was early this morning between 8 and 10 a.m. You can definitely see all that accumulation on the roadways. But what we're really worried about is scenes like this. Make sure you are staying off the roads. This is I-20. This was treated with brine, and they actually had plows out as well, and you can still have accidents like this. So just stay off the roadways if you can help it. First alert is in effect, going to stay in effect through the rest of tonight and until we get above freezing tomorrow morning. So just a heads up, we do have more impacts anticipated as we head into this afternoon and evening. Current view over SRP Park. It's a beautiful look, 32 degrees. I'm going to toss it over to Mikkel Hannah Harding in the Weather Center.
And yes, Riley, we're definitely taking a look here, though, at those power outages here across the area, and we'll get the graphic to look a little better here shortly. But the good news to report is that we don't have a lot of these power outages that we're looking at. So that's the positive thing really to report here. And just kind of hovering over some of our counties here in South Carolina, for instance, Aiken, they're tracking almost 100,000 people there. We're talking about only about 20 outages that are being reported right now, or 20 people that are being impacted from those outages. So very small impact here. The entire state is actually blue, and if we slide down here just a bit, you can see that the outage scale, I'll move it down just a little bit more here, boom, and you can see this legend right here does show that we would see colors on this map if there were higher percentages of outages across the area, but we're not seeing that at this time. As we head into tonight, though, not going to rule out maybe a few more scattered outages, as we could see a little bit of wind kick up briefly with that frontal passage, looking at gusts possibly close to 20 plus miles an hour at times, but not looking at many outages at all as we go towards Edgefield County. 0 that are out right now. McCormick, a similar situation there. Saluda also looking at 0 people. In Barnwell County and Bamberg, Bamberg has 2 reported outages at this time, so just not looking like we're seeing any major impacts in terms of outages at this time. And on the Georgia side, here in Columbia County, 164 people that are reporting outages there, but they're tracking close to 70,000 people. So just not seeing major impacts, more of a very isolated feel. McDuffie County, it looks like seeing the most outages right now out of our South Carolina and also Georgia counties. And we're looking at about 166 people reporting outages there. So limited impacts at this time from those outages around the region. So some good news there. And then just as far as looking outside, a pretty interesting picture here from the lake. It looks like we have the water temperature there a little bit warmer than the air temperature, so the appearance of some steam there over the lake, but it's definitely still pretty icy outside. We have seen some areas that are just showing some accumulation of still sleet here around Grovetown, and also just looking at some of those icier treetops around the region. So continues to be very cold outside. The message is to stay off the roadways still, if at all possible.